Doomwake on the tokens. Down at the bottom here, playing mind games with this here blue mana thingy majiggy decks.
All right, so these players at 10-2 and 10-1-1. Gray Payne, she is the leader of the tournament. Devon O'Donnell right behind her, and you know, a little brutal for Devon. You start to look at your day, and it's 1-2. And you're like, okay, come on, no more. And then you look across from you and you see another Sunfall deck. So this is kind of the train wreck scenario here if Devon were to lose again after the 9-0 start. But of course, we'll see what happens.
Pretty good start here from both players. You know, we've got the Beanstalk, up the Beanstalk, down on the board here for Gray Payne, alongside Devon O'Donnell, who's got the Paw Patch Recruit into Malira the Living Cure. So curving out quite nicely, you know. If Devon's able to keep this pressure up and curve out nicely, we could get to game number 2 pretty quickly.
And for what it's worth, I think this matchup for Devon O'Donnell is a little bit better than the mono-white control version because mono-white tokens, just because that list does play 4 Sunfall. It plays split up. It plays some temporary lockdowns. Gray can't play that much removal. She has to be playing the Overlords, the Zers, that kind of stuff. So there's not as many sweepers. So I wouldn't say it's as bad, but still I would categorize as a bad matchup for Doomwake.
So having a big think here about this turn as we're deciding where Gray wants to go with this turn number 3, and it is going to be Elspeth's Smite taking care of the Paw Patch Recruit. So Malira will get the counter from the Paw Patch.
Yeah, and just the annoyance of the Paw Patch there. Like,
nice.
already a 1-mana 2-1 that spread a counter off after a removal spell. Just really, really strong. And Devon O'Donnell made the nice play of playing the Malira before attackers. Normally, you're like, I'll attack first, then I'll play something, but that wouldn't have worked out as well.
Sanguine Evangelist hits the board here now. We didn't get to see this card all too much yesterday when Devon was on coverage in the feature match, but this card's also pretty sweet, you know? Comes in with a little buddy, pumps up the team when it attacks, so...
Yeah, it's a great card, and just the fact that whenever it dies, it creates a token as well can be a big deal.
Yeah.
So, like right now, if Gray has a mass sweeper here that's like split up instead, Malira can sacrifice, save the Evangelist, and you know it's going to come back and get some value. Plus, when it dies, get some value as well.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this list from Devon. You know, it's got a lot of redundancy, a lot of ways to protect things. It's got the surprise factor, too, with the Cage we see here now. What did we find? I saw Llanowar Elves.
Okay, so Cage is online right now, so all you have to do is pump the biggest creature here. You pump your...
Malira?
Yep, exactly. Yep, you got to pump the Malira.
Well, Sanguine Evangelist is 2-1, yeah.
Yep, you can do that as well. So pumping either one of those is fine, and then you will have the Cage unlocked. Now,
what do we let out of the Cage?
We're going to find out. I at least saw one more Cage. It's definitely not the ideal hit, but you can at least kind of set it up again. Yeah. But I don't think I saw an Overlord because I think you just slammed that if that's the case.
There was a bit too many thinks there if it was you know, the juicy target of Overlord of the Mistmoors. So an unknown card hiding out underneath the Cage right now, and it can be activated at instant speed. If you saw Devon's deck tech earlier on in the day, if you didn't, I'd recommend going and checking it out because it's really, really cool to get the players' insights of their own list because they're the ones who've been playing it the most.
Exactly. Yep. You know the inner workings of it, and when you practice for an event like this that these players deeply want to win, and you know I've tuned into Devon O'Donnell's stream quite a bit as he prepares for this, and when you put that much effort into it, you start learning the deep ins and outs of your deck, and it's really fun to hear the players talk about it because, well, no one's more excited to play their deck than a person that's 9-0. You know, like you're obviously having a great day.
Oh, we're gonna do it. We are going to activate the Cage, put a counter on one of these creatures, so making combat a little trickier here. It's going on the unblocked creature, and what do we get? Drum roll, please. Da, 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 da. Nope. It's not coming out.
Okay. Decided to not do it. Just got in the extra damage there. So, you know, that could be saying a few things. Number one, first and foremost, doesn't want to overextend into a sweeper.
That would be bad.
But, like, yeah, if it was an Overlord under there, you would think you probably still just want to put it there because there's only 2 Sunfalls in Gray Payne's deck. But who knows?
Yep.
It's a mystery.
We'll find out shortly, no doubt. Unless it's just nothing. That would be funny. But we did see a lot more else, so.
There we go.
There's at least one creature under there, I believe. But again, like you mentioned, no real reason to overcommit to the board. We do also have the Llamaland hanging out there, Restless Prairie. Could make combat a little trickier indeed as well.
Yeah, Devon O'Donnell, listening to his deck tech, he was so high on the Llamaland,
yeah,
and he decided to play all 4. And I mean, it makes sense. I mean, when we were calling the last match of the day or second last match of the day yesterday, animating that land with a battlefield that I believe he had of 5 creatures, it added 10 power. It's unreal, especially when you have Wiltleaf Liege out there. Counts as a green and a white creature, of course.
Not too shabby. So Collector's Cage still hiding out that creature, unknown right now. The Llamaland comes to life and is going to get swinging in here alongside its buddies.
So this screams to me, no matter what, Devon O'Donnell's like, I am content with this battlefield. I don't want to extend it anymore. He will just keep animating this Llamaland until the battlefield is dealt with a Sunfall or something, and then you can start extending again on the battlefield here. So nice plays so far here from Devon, and it seems like Gray has at least one piece of interaction, and she's just wondering exactly how to attack this battlefield.
Yeah, and no real concern, except for, instant speed removal, which we do see here in Get Lost. So unfortunately, the Llamaland isn't able to come and play this turn. But we'll be able to respond by activating the cage again and just buffing up these attackers.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Normally you think, okay, let it attack so that Devon can't use the mana. But if Devon does attack, it actually pumps the team basically 2 points.
Yeah.
And if you kill it now, you get to tap it, activate the cage. That's only one.
Yeah.
So
eliminating some damage here. Either way, something is dying. But I guess the thought now for Devon is this land valuable enough for me to save with Malera?
Yep, that's an option as well. Or which counter to put with the cage. Because, something that would make sense to me is as long as we have Domain up there, or at least close to, that this is a Get Lost, and then maybe she has a Leyline Binding as well. So you want to disperse your counters evenly as much as you can, so you don't get completely blown out by, loading up one creature.
Yeah, definitely.
But looks like he wants to put a counter on the Evangelist and save the really cool Llamaland.
I do like a Llamaland. Alrighty, what do we got here? Let's see. It looks like a mountain. We've got the Shadowy Backstreet, so that's 3 land types. We've got green, Lush Portico, and I think we got Domain already.
Yeah. So the just took a hit for 4 there, so I would assume she does not have Leyline Binding. Yeah. Otherwise, that was just a very juicy target to stabilize the board.
Yeah, dude.
So now we'll see. This is the spot for Gray where she just has basically her entire deck as just absolute haymakers. The one thing that she doesn't have going for her right now is she doesn't have Collect Evidence 8 in the graveyard to be able to turn on the Analyze Pollens that she has to go get a Zur.
Those are cool.
But,
Hey, doesn't need it. There's a Zur. And Zur is going to make this big ol' Overlord swing it in here, get some life, get some more creatures down, and now this is bad news bears for Devon, who does not have a board wipe.
This has to be the most classic, when you're practicing on Magic Online or Arena, when that combination comes down, the most often players concede. I know. I mean, the game just feels over, you just got to gain a ton of life. You got to put 4 more power in play. You can animate your Beanstalk next turn as another death-touching lifelinker. It just feels impossible at this point.
You talk about having, creatures in reserve, hiding out, under the cage, for example, in the Llamaland. But, these creatures, they're just sitting there waiting for Zur to rock up or for their impending counters to go away. But oftentimes I've had a situation where I just have Overload, Leyline Binding. Okay, granted, you don't really want to animate those, but then if Zur sticks around and you can keep them alive, you just swing in for so much damage when the game becomes, at this point where you just have so much mana to utilize.
Zur would be okay and pretty manageable if it didn't come with that enchantment creatures has hexproof clause. Just because then it's a liability to animate your Leyline Binding. But when you do that, your opponent has to have 2 removal spells on the spot.
Yep.
And for most decks, they have 2 mana open or something. They do not have that.
Zer is the Oscar of questions, and the opponents have to have the answers.
And the question that Zer asks me the most often when it's played against me is, why me? Why me, you know? Like, why me, Ailey?
Because you deserve to have overlords give you a big ol' hug
All right. All right.
with their fists. I don't know, do they have fists? Like, they kind of have flappy appendages, so I'm guessing they have
Yes.
fist-ish thingies. Here we go. Sheltered by ghosts. Now on the Sanguine Evangelist, we're going to target one of the moths, or insects, bug thing. So that gets taken care of. So only the 2 blockers now. How much damage do we have here for Devon? Not enough.
Definitely not enough. So it's very interesting. The only 2 targets were 2-1 Flyer or Zer, but
Yeah.
not getting rid of Zer here is definitely a choice.
So Toby cares about number of token creatures, right? Control 4 more creature tokens, yes.
Yeah. So not online yet. Doesn't count the maps, but you know, still a solid hit here for 5 lifelink coming in. But when you're getting hit for 6 lifelink,
yeah,
you're not really doing anything here. So it becomes quite the tricky situation.
so the Sanguine Evangelist is what, a 4-3? No, 5-3 at the moment? 5-3 lifelink? It's still, it's something.
Yeah, and it can be a 6-power creature with the
Yes.
cage. But all of that attacks, all that stuff is neutralized by 1 attack with the Overlord. And then, you know, Gray can also just have a follow-up and, you know, this game gets very unmanageable. Oh, okay.
Sweet.
That play makes sense. Yep.
I love that. That's
Okay.
sick.
Now we have a chance here. If Gray has some air in her hand and is unable to either deal with that creature, deal with the Sheltered by Ghost, or get a little bit more wide of a battlefield, we got a game. But the thing is, even if you can't do that, you can still just attack, get some more 2-1 flyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool.
That was sweet.
Collector's Cage. Sneaky. So some things are a little more manageable here now for Devon O'Donnell. Up at a healthy 20. Gray Payne is feeling the pain a little bit, down at 7. Overlord of the Mistmoors and the Insect remain. 2 more join the party here.
So this kind of screams to me, it's time for the sun to fall. As if there was a Leyline Binding, something like that, it would be cast pre-combat, but you want to get in the damage you can.
Yep.
Then Sunfall, and then you have Zer to be a nice follow-up here. And Celestia Token just doesn't come back from behind too well.
Ugh. That's a big ol' oof if I ever seen one. 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an Incubate token for 7?
Incubate token for 7, and on top of all that, gets the Zer back.
Oh, yeah.
Got to draw a card.
Woo!
Like, this is the spot where you see the power of Domain.
Avantage. Madame Payne.
This is Gray Payne's happy place right
Oh,
now.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, all right, clear battlefield.
Woo!
Zer.
Got my Zer. This is groovy, baby. Let's
Incubate
keep
on
going.
7 in my element.
Jeez. With a Beanstalk down 2, I'm not sure how many cards she has in hand, but like that is a great, great way to refuel. Oh boy.
Yeah, Devon really needs something like Land Overlord, you know.
Hey, Overlord. Hey, bud.
Yep,
Okay.
but no land, so it's not the big creature yet, so it's still
all right.
really tough to come back.
Gonna go digging. Oops. That goes back on top, I believe. Yeah. Sanguine Evangelist on top. I'm gonna leave that there. Won't go in the bin. Well, now we just crack the other map token, get another bigger creature.
Yeah, I think he's still tanking on whether or not to keep it. I would assume that's probably going to be in the graveyard. I think you just need to find more removal spells for Zer. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a winning card to me. More Overlords, more cages. You need the meat and potatoes here of your deck at this stage of the game.
Funny enough, those are not food tokens.
Yeah, yeah.
Disappointed.
I know.
Impending counters tick down on the Overlord. The turn passes back now to Gray Payne, sitting at 7. Devon's at 11. Lots of rhymes happening here in this game, and I'm quite a fan of it.
I got the time. I'm in.
Yeah. Alrighty, Gray, what you got for us?
Worst case, can animate the Beanstalk as one more creature. Not impressive by any means.
Yeah.
So she would definitely love some kind of follow-up, but basically every card in her deck is devastating for Devon O'Donnell right now. Analyze Pollen could go and get an Overlord if that's in there. Any of the Overlords are amazing right now. Yep.
Everywhere. Get a card. And that's a real-life walking, talking Overlord, which also still gets the advantage from Xur, so.
Exactly.
Nice.
Still is hexproof, still has lifelink, still gets all the buffs.
Land for turn. Very pretty forest indeed. And we're swinging. I'm gonna animate that 7-power little incubation thing. It's Phyrexian now. It doesn't get the lifelink though from Xur.
Shucks.
Ah, shucks. That would be nice. But Devon's down to 4.
Yeah, but here we do have 6 power. Okay.
And there's a llama land. So if we have removal plus land, that's game.
We don't even need the llama land because you can just activate the cage to get 7 power.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can remove Xur, and Gray doesn't have anything here. Devon O'Donnell might be able to sneak one out. The problem is Devon doesn't play a ton of removal. There's 3 more pieces of removal in the deck.
Yeah.
1 more Shelter by Ghost, 2 more Get Lost. And outside of that, those are his only outs. You can Collector's Cage into one of those cards as well, so you can kind of count those as an out. But
that's pretty sick.
yeah, and honestly, I think that might have been a slight blunder if Gray doesn't have anything else, because she could have animated the Up the Beanstalk to get out of range.
Yeah.
So that leads me to believe she probably has something else.
So Xur has to block here if there's no removal from Gray's side of things.
Yes. Yep. Correct.
Okay.
And then if Xur does block, you can cage whatever one Xur blocks. Gray will go down to 4, and Xur will die.
But then there's still a massive creature and the Overlord.
Yeah. Then there's 2 lethal threats. But Devon's deck is full of 2-for-1 creatures. You know.
Yeah.
So
it certainly would have a follow-up.
This feels like Gray has something here, like a Leyline Binding.
That would be ideal, and it looks like we are tapping for a Leyline Binding. Indeed, yes. Trigger, draw a card, targeting the thing that'll probably kill Xur.
Yeah, so it kills that. It will become a 6/6, and now we'll have 3 lethal attackers.
Yeah.
Even if Devon O'Donnell can get some creatures to block, with Xur gaining the life here,
that's rough.
No way he can come back from, 14 life that Gray can gain next turn, so we're all done here.
That's it. I mean, that would have been heckin' sweet if he could have pulled it off there, but, Gray had the answer in hand. Leyline Binding, cheapest chips at just 1 mana, courtesy of Domain and, the Everywhere land, just being everything.
Yeah, no, that was a really, really nice game. So let's take a look at Devon O'Donnell's sideboard to start here. Some cards that I would think are a package deal and are really good in these style matchups is the Aven Interrupter with the Invasion of Gobakon. You just really want to just slow down Gray in any way possible. So try to stop her from having a timely Sunfall. Try to stop her from having Xur on a timely turn. Outside of that, I don't think I would really bring in too much. And here's the tough squeeze playing against Domain that I think we've all felt if you're playing in a competitive tournament is, well, removal spells stink against a deck like this, but you feel like you have to have some in there because these Overlords are still creatures.
Yeah.
Even if you hard cast them, Xur is a card where if you kill it while the enchantment is attacking and you take away the lifelink clause, you can sometimes attack back for lethal. So it is just a tough way to sideboard here for Devon. So then looking from Gray's sides quickly here for this matchup, I would see 2 more split-ups coming in. Elspeth Smite. You could think about Authority of the Council, but I think that's really for just the hasty threat. So just the 2 sweepers for me, Ailey.
While the players are sideboarding, making their final decisions, just a big thank you once again to our sponsors for this weekend, Beckett and Dragon Shield. So whether you are wanting to trade your cards, get them sleeved, get them slabbed, our friends at Dragon Shield and Beckett have got you covered. A big thank you to these legends for sponsoring all of the SCG cons this year. So don't forget to order your Dragon Shield products right now on StarCityGames.com.
How do you get your cards slabbed? What does that entail?
You send them to Beckett.
Okay.
They look at the card and they go, yes, this is a good one. And then
Slab
if it's
it.
real good, then they stick it in some plastic for you. And then you can use it as a weapon if needs be.
I'm going to be calling Beckett immediately after this, that's for sure. So next up is Innistrad Remastered here. If you love this set as much as I did, I absolutely love me some vampires, werewolves, and zombies. And one of our directors, Raph, is a huge fan of this set here.
Yeah.
Definitely loves the vampires, werewolves, and zombies. So you can make sure to pre-order this set from Star City Games if you want to be one of the first people to get your hands on these really, really cool cards. We got starcitygames.com/NTG/Innistrad Remastered to pick it up.
There's even more, Corey. What else can we order?
Oh, yes, this new set. If you want to drift your way into the newest set, we got Aether Drift coming. This is a set like we have really never seen. Have we? I mean, there's definitely going to be vehicles, that's for
Well,
sure.
I would hope so, given that Chandra is riding upon a flaming motorcycle-esque thing.
Yeah, this set seems really sweet. I bet it's going to interact. Vehicles are going to work really well with like Survivor cards, stuff like that. I'm sure this set is going to be an absolute delight. So if you want to pre-order this set, go to starcitygames.com/MTG/Aether Drift to pick this up. This set's got to be coming up soon.
It is.
Yeah.
In fact, we have a whole MagicCon around it in Chicago very soon, friend.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We'll see what kind of effect Standard or Aether Drift has on Standard here for the very next Pro Tour. But for now, we got to send 8 people to the Pro Tour.
Yes, we do. And I bet you they would love to be there, and they would love to go zooming into, Magic history as the next world champion. Get your name and your face on a Magic card, perhaps. That'd be pretty sweet.
How many car puns do you think we can get throughout the broadcast with Aether
Today
Drift?
or Aether Drift?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
yeah.
we're going to have to start, writing now.
I think so. Let's start preparing now for this Pro Tour, okay?
Okay, all right. Okay, Zoom is definitely one. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Drift into a draft,
Yeah.
yep.
Drifting, drafting, and I don't know, crafting if there's anything like that. Because we can have mechanics again.
Ooh,
yes.
there you go.
We're gonna be fixing some Hot Wheels, and no, wait, that's a completely different thing. Never mind. We'll workshop that.
Yeah, there we go. We'll figure it out. So, all right, these players getting started. Devon O'Donnell on the play. I would think this matchup gets a little bit closer. Most of it, it's like, all right, Standard's very close. When you're on the play, you have a slight advantage. In this matchup, when you're on the play, maybe you're a 45% dog in the matchup compared to like a 30% favorite. That's kind of how bad this matchup is for Doomwake here. So if Devon O'Donnell can win from this state, he's got to be jumping over the moon. And Gray, she definitely wants to just close this out and advance to 11-1-1.
Yeah.
And you got to be thinking at that point, probably
good
win
for
one
top
more.
eight, yeah.
I would assume like going 2-1 from this spot, you're at least live.
Yep.
And if you go 3-0 from either of these players, you're in for sure.
Oh yeah. So we are underway here. Chet is making up some car puns for us. Thank you.
Keep it up. Yeah,
you
keep
guys
it
are
up.
great. Love ya. Malir Living Cure hits the board here. The first thing down, permanent-wise at least, non-land permanents, as Gray is just surveilling away some cards off the top of the library, but I think likes what she sees up there.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the domain decks. Once again, you're a 5-color deck, so your mana base can not always agree with you. Plus, you have a lot of tap lands, so the early part of the game is like, okay, I need to cast my spells, please. And oh, look at this. Devon O'Donnell gets to take a peek.
Invasion of Goblins. I love this card.
Me too, but gets to take a peek and see that there's an Elspeth Smite.
Yeah.
So you're able to...
Beanstalk split up.
I mean, I think you just got to take the Elspeth Smite and then attack the Invasion of Gobakon. That seems like the first thing I want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Because then
Absolutely.
the Elspeth Smite is just basically dead because of the flip side of Gobakon.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we get counters on our things. So
Exactly.
yeah, turn things sideways, killing that battle, flipping it over. Now we get to protect the team, get counters, and give them indestructible when needs be.
Still doesn't protect against Sunfall, so that's why that card is just still so good.
Yes. It is very good.
Exactly. And it's really fun to say.
Sunfall.
No, Invasion of Gobakon.
Oh, Invasion of Gobakon?
Yeah.
All the invasions are cool. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, wizards, can we have some more battles, please? They were kind of cool.
They are pretty
and
cool.
we haven't seen any more.
They are really cool to get a new type.
Yeah.
After the game's been around for so very long.
Yeah, we went battles, and then we went rooms. All the new, the cases and stuff, they're sweet as well.
It turns out the people at R&D, they're good at their job.
Yeah.
They're bringing us some cool stuff.
They really
cool
are.
toys.
Standard's great. Modern's great. Pioneer's great. Keep it up.
Exactly.
High fives. Ask for a raise because you guys deserve it. Here we go. We're splitting up some stuff. We are going to get Malira dead, hopefully. And Vision of Gobakon is going to say, no thanks, not right now. I would like to keep my 4/4 swinging.
Invasion of Gobakon did do a really nice job there. Made this Elspeth Smite cost 3, got an extra counter on, and protected a creature. That's really all. And you get to see your opponent's information. So, I mean, for 2 mana there, that was an incredibly valuable card.
I've upset chat.
Did you?
Most of them are like, no more battles, please. They just want to retire from war. Okay, I see how it is. Anyway, let me stop upsetting our viewers. As we continue on, Sandstorm Salvager hits the board, brings along a friendly golem buddy dude guy bro face, and is going to be putting some counters on that soonish, I imagine.
Yep. So now we are protected from a Wrath decently because the creature can save the Salvager. Still not protected from a Sunfall if we were to draw it, but I don't remember that being in Gray's hand. I know we saw Beanstalk, and if worst case scenario, we have that to get the ball rolling a little bit to try to find one.
Beanstalk and Binding, I think, were the last 2 known cards in hand for Gray.
So then Gray will be put into a tough spot. Is this time, with just those 2 cards alone, is this time to slow down Devon O'Donnell and buy yourself some more time? Or is this time to start drawing some cards, try to get a little bit more greedy, and then start Leyline Binding when you can also draw a card, you know? So that's the tough spot for Gray. And then, of course, whatever other card she has as well.
What do we got there? Okay, there's a Plains. Are we missing green?
See, the hedge maze, I believe, there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that a hedge? Oh, yes, there it is, hedge maze, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have...
Looks like we have 4 to domain, if I'm seeing right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, tough to tell a little bit with those full art.
Yeah, the alternate arts are a bit tricky.
Because to be fair, if we had 4 to domain, I think Beanstalk plus Leyline Binding would have kind of been a slam dunk. So we'll see.
Missing one.
Maybe, absolutely.
Maybe missing red and black. What is the one above the hedge maze there?
Yeah, that might be blue-white. Okay, so blue-white, blue-green, white. Yep, so we're only 3 to domain. I thought it was a black-white.
Yeah, no, that's not. That's just a land. It's not. Doesn't it have basic land types?
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Right, cool. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So another invasion of Gobakon here, forcing the hand of Gray.
Oh, boy, yeah. Targeting Malira.
And I like this play because, you know, taking 8 here is really, really bad. So making sure to just shrink the battlefield and get that going with invasion on the stack. Definitely the thing you want to be doing. I'm sure this evasion is going to die to this golem as well. But, you know, Gray still just has a solid hand now.
Yep.
And remember, these cards are not gone. They just cost 2 extra.
Yes.
So next turn, for 5 mana, you can cast Split Up. But the flip side of Invasion of Gobakon can prevent against that as well.
Yeah. So Devon's doing a really good job here of keeping control of things where, you know, Gray is playing the control deck, but this tokens list has taken on that role quite nicely here. Just keeping the removal spells at bay and, you know, having an answer for them when they are castable.
Yeah, exactly. The aggro versus the multiple wrath dynamics, when you can look at your opponent's hand and you can have a counter spell, something like that, you know, that really helped out the aggressive decks historically over time. But, you know, Gray doing a great job at minimizing the amount of damage here.
Beans. Drawing cards on this very stream. I don't know why.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
We're just, I don't know.
Beautiful.
It's that time of day. We're just going to start serenading our cards as they hit the board because we love to see it. So hopefully a follow-up here. What is this cavern going to name? I wonder, will we see Avatar? Will we see Wizard? Human is the name. So that is our friend Zur.
Yeah, it's always either human or Avatar, you know. Really whatever you need. I guess there is an Atraxa here if you really need black mana for that, but for the most part, trying to help Zur get cast whenever you can find it.
Yeah. Zur is the trickiest thing to cost, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But, you know, you typically don't want to play him on turn 3.
Definitely.
You want him to have things to do as soon as he hits the board. So.
Zur is a 5-drop.
Yeah, sure is. Just stick that text. He's got commander text, just pre-built in, you know?
Pretty much, yeah. So here is a gigantic attack, plus this array is going to boost these creatures. So you have the Elspeth Smite to do something here.
Cool, cool, cool. So that'll deal with Malira at least.
Yep.
What's that, 6 power coming in otherwise?
6 power, and then it's going to grow to 8 power next turn. So that's 14. So that is short of a 2-turn clock, so Devon will need a little bit more.
Llama.
Yeah, Llama Land would be great. Not having to extend into a possible Sunfall. Well, meanwhile, Gray's already like, okay, I either have the Sunfall, and it's going to be great, or hoping that it's on top. But
no Llama Land.
But this isn't lethal, like I was saying,
yet,
so no matter what, Gray looks like she'll have a couple of turns here where, number one, you can cast Split Up at least. It's going to get countered essentially with the array, but then your next Split Up is online.
Yeah.
But so far, Devon O'Donnell has done a great job with these invasions, making everything
sweet,
just really difficult for Gray.
I really do like this card.
And Devon O'Donnell could also have an Aven Interrupter.
Yeah.
Aven Interrupter is just GG if she goes for something like a Sunfall.
Yeah, just flash a creature, adding some more power to the board. Like, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a tricky turn to navigate here for Gray.
Yeah, and
if she wants to make this a clean 2-0.
And Aven Interrupter gets around the uncounterable clause, you know? So Aven Interrupter can hit the Zur and win the game, essentially, if there's no other follow-up from Gray.
There it is. Aven Interrupter hits the board and is going to say, no, thank you. So now this is cool because, yes, Zur is uncounterable, but Aven Interrupter just exiles the spell. It's not saying counters or anything like that. It's just going, nope, thank you.
Yep.
Off you go.
So right now, the only way Gray can win, well, never mind, but the only way she could have survived is with a Leyline Binding, some kind of exile effect. So, all right, game number 3.
GG, Devon, excellently played there and was just in the driver's seat the entire time, you feel.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Played that very, very nicely indeed.
Now,
so, game 3, what do?
Now this will definitely be Gray Payne's game to lose. You know, already this is a great matchup, but when she's on the play and can, you know, cast a Beanstalk into the Green Overlord, that's kind of the absolute nut draw that these domain decks can have. It just turns on everything. Your whole deck's set up. Plus you get an everywhere land, you get to draw a card. That's what you want to have as your start, and that's before Devon can really put any pressure. So most of the time, the games that Devon wins is he gets a fast start, doesn't give Gray the time to do some setup, but when she's on the play, the Celestia deck is just not as fast by any means as like the Gruul decks, Mono Red, stuff like that.
Alrighty. So, friends, if you enjoy what you have seen this weekend so far, you should come and check out our upcoming SCG cons. The next one is going to be in Portland, February 7 to 9. That's not too far away. It is going to be the regional championship, but you don't just have to play in that. Well, if you're qualified for it, I hope you do. But there's going to be plenty of other side events to go and check out, so do come join us in Portland. I believe we will both be there, Corey.
Yes, we will. And if you're not going to be, you know, playing in person on Portland, you're going to want to watch that broadcast. Modern after the unbans of Mox Opal and a bunch Splinter Twin. I mean, come on. I mean, everyone loves Splinter Twin. It's going to be really exciting. Everyone loved it for the first week, and then they're like, okay, I get it. This is our other regional championship. The United States regional championships have split into 2 because, well, they're gigantic, and, you know, they're giving us some extra treats here down in the USA. So this is going to be another gigantic tournament. Both events will have $20,000 up top, as well as a bunch of invites to the Pro Tour. If you want to be in either Portland or Charlotte, go to starcitygames.com/SCGCon. This will be March 7th to the 9th, my birthday weekend, so gonna be a fun one.
Are you expecting presents?
From you, yeah.
Maybe I just
what are you
want
getting
to go
me?
to that one then.
To get out of presents. Don't worry, I'll give you my address. You can mail it there. So if you want to also play in the regional championship after that, this next one's gonna be in SCG Minneapolis here, May 2nd to the 4th. Once again, starcitygames.com/SCGCon. Going to be another fun one there.
Nice.
And it won't be too cold. It's in May. So, yeah, it'll be a little better.
Seems like someone cast Split Up on the regional championships, didn't they?
Yeah, there we go.
We
Genius.
get so many.
Genius.
Awesome sauce. Well, one thing these players currently in our feature match area will be aiming for, as we see the next one here in May 16 to 18, As SCG Hartford, another regional championship. These players are going to be looking to skip all of those regional championships and just go straight to the Pro Tour, you know? Because top 8 here, Pro Tour.
Exactly.
Neat.
But they can still play in the
why
the
not?
RC.
Just win some more.
I mean, yeah, you just get to win a lot of money. So, yeah, here we go.
Beanstalk time. Whoa, but Devon, importantly, has the Llanowar Elves to try and skip ahead a little bit here, as it were.
They both have the
keep
nut
up.
draws. Yeah, these are the best either deck can do.
Paw, Pets, Recruit, Bunny, Wabbits, go! Woo! Yes. Okay, we got 3 creatures on the board now. We hopefully, for Gray's side of things, we want a Sunfall or a Split Up or something just to get rid of these idiots.
Green Overlord is the best she can do. That is this 1-2 punch. When this got spoiled, everyone's like, well, this is going to be the best thing in Standard. And it's just absolutely incredible. Going up the Beanstalk into Overlord, and I think we were all shocked right away that this drew a card. The Impending allowed you to draw a card. And this is the best start that she can have.
Absolutely.
And now, from here on out, Devon has to be afraid of Sunfall. So
yes,
this could easily be a spot where he's like, okay, I only have 4 power in play. I don't have the luxury to like leave up mana for Aven and Ruptor for the rest of the game. So this might be the turn where Devon's like, you know what, I got to extend for one more turn and just pray she doesn't have it. Or he plays really defensive, and then that could also run afoul of, okay, you didn't put enough pressure on, she didn't have it, then she draws into it later. So this is the tough spot from the token style deck against control, and he decides to play defensive.
You know, when a Llanowar Elf turns sideways, things aren't going according to plan.
Yeah. Or he very much for sure has an Aven Interrupter and is not going to need that 4th mana.
Well, fingers crossed here for Devon O'Donnell as the turn passes back. 5th land hitting the board here will spell bad news indeed. Split Up is a potential without the 5th, but with that Beanstalk, up the Beanstalk down, you can imagine that this hand is just going to keep getting refilled every single turn.
Yeah, just looking at the cards that are brutal for Devon, Biza, Day of Judgment, Split Up, Sunfall, any of the Overlords, Zur, Leyline Binding.
So, now we're going to see Overlord of the Mistmoors hit the board. So here comes some critters just to play defense against these Whittle Angry Wabbits.
This is another just great play. Let's see. Okay, so this one did get Aven Interrupter. You do still get to draw a card, which is nice.
So Birdie on the board here. That'll prevent the blockers from happening. So here's some of the pressure that you were hoping to see from Devon, Corey.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, this is a great start from Devon for sure. The thing is this Overlord, you know, can just be cast next turn, and it gets to be cast for the big side, you know?
Yeah.
So plotting that is kind of rough. Yeah.
The big side. You're not wrong. I think it's also the spookiest of the Overlords, if I'm honest.
Oh, yeah. It looks very menacing.
Yeah.
Very, very menacing.
Spindly little legs. You know, at least this Overlord of the Hauntwoods has the decency to put on a cloak or something, right?
Yeah. And realistically, it's definitely the best one, too. I mean, the Green Overlord with Beanstalk, that combo is amazing, but Overlord of the Mistmoor, just by itself, is just the best one. It impacts the battlefield so much. Yeah. It's truly incredible.
Looks like he's got bandages on him. Oh, he's got antlers. I just noticed that. Probably not attached to his head, just some smoky things, but that's cool.
They're all terrifying.
Invasion of Gobakhan. Let's take a look in Gray's hand here. Anything in response? Do we have a Leyline Binding to try and get one of these creatures off the board? Or, I don't know, even the Leyline? The Invasion?
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Slightly. It's definitely interesting. And one interaction that may not be super intuitive is the Invasion of Gobakhan exiles a card.
Yes.
So then the Aven Interrupter also makes that card cost 2 more. So the Invasion's going to make it cost 2 more, and then the Interrupter costs 2 more. So if Devon O'Donnell exiles a 5-drop, let's say, it would cost 9. Because the Aven Interrupter worked favorably with Invasion of Gobakhan. Kind of a combination here.
That's kind of gross.
Yep, it is kind of gross. But if you do deal with the Aven Interrupter, then that clause goes away.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, the Overlord will cost 2 next
Ew.
turn to be able to cast.
Uh-huh.
And whatever this card is that gets taken, like, let's say it's Herd Migration, you know, that card is going to cost 11.
What's that? Smite, we go. It's
I
a
think
Herd
it's-
Migration. I think it's another Overlord there.
And another Overlord.
Yeah, I think so. So, okay, so it wasn't that weird to take the invasion because, yeah, if we got a free swing there on that, then that's just protection against a board wipe, which, you know, we don't have in hand now for Gray, but we're hoping like heck to draw.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. So
Yep.
takes that. It's going to be a little confusing there,
Oh, boy.
as only one of them has the 2 counters.
Yeah.
Essentially. So one costs 2 to bring out, and the other one will cost a whopping 11. But next turn's going to be great for Gray.
Yeah.
It's going to start with, no matter what, Devon doesn't have an answer to a 2-mana Overlord. That's going to draw her a card. Or, God forbid, she top decks Sunfall, and then it's just GG.
Yeah. Or even split up.
Yeah.
There are answers.
Yeah, this is the spot where Devon's just like, well, if you have it.
I am in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah. And I think just getting clarification on exactly how these cards work.
Yeah. So the Avid Interrupter forces things from exile to cost 2 more, irrespective of what they are. And then Invasion of Gobakon got a thing, but then got God.
Yeah, but
So-
still has that clause.
Yep.
Yep. Because that one's not a static ability from the invasion. That one just gives that card that thing. So here's the Overlord for 2 mana. Get to draw a card. You get 2 1s, and this was the cost of Aven Interrupting the Overlord. So I loved, even if Gray, you know, had other plays to do, that she played that, impended that Overlord last turn, because it is a true cost to interrupt that.
Jeez. Okay, we got a ball game here, friends.
Definitely. I would still say huge advantage to Gray.
Yeah, I think, you know, as good of a job that Devon is doing to dismantle her hand here,
Yeah.
she has the answers this time around. It looks
Yeah.
so different from game 2 where she just couldn't react or respond to anything that Devon was doing in essence.
Yeah, and if this Aven Interrupter dies, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so still wouldn't be able to cast the Overlord yet. Would still be a little bit behind on that, but
Yeah.
we know she has an Elspeth Smite to do some damage in combat. We know this Overlord's coming off. She has a Herd Migration as well with an Everywhere Land, so at any point she can make 5 3/3s and draw a card. Like, her expression doesn't necessarily scream excited and happy, but I think on the inside she's like, how on earth could I lose this game? She's got a stranglehold over it so far.
Sure does. Devon on the other side of things is thinking, how the heck do I win this game?
Yeah.
And it starts with an Overlord of the Mistborns.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So I see your Overlord and raise you my own. So 2 buddies joining his side of the battlefield.
Except his cost 2 more, didn't come with the Overlord in play, and didn't draw him a card like Gray's. So,
Sure did not.
yeah.
Yeah. Gray's got them beans. I've heard they're good for your heart.
I think so, yeah. Everyone's all about them beans.
We need a toe beans card. So the next cat-related set. I
Okay.
want toe beans.
Toe beans? Okay. All right, all right.
Just putting a request in. I
There
like
we
that.
go. Formal request there has been made.
Alrighty. Attacky time? Yes. Okay, so Overlord swinging on in. Gonna make 2 more friends. The Flyers getting frisky too.
Okay, the attacking with the 2 1s would just be if I'm sitting across from Gray and I'm in this game, I'd be like, well, that's not good.
No.
That would scream a Sunfall. And Sunfall, when you have Overlords that are just about to come off impending, feels like cheating.
Yeah, sure does. You know,
This-
it's your investment you're waiting
Yeah.
to have paid out.
And if Sunfall comes here, the sun might be falling on Devon O'Donnell for this round. And okay.
Okay, just heard. Okay, no, we're just going for it. We're
Yeah.
just turning things sideways and getting this game done. So Gray is racing. We're gonna get some 3/3s on this board, and Devon O'Donnell has an insurmountable task ahead of him.
Okay, then maybe attacking with one of those extra 2-1s might have been a little ambitious. As the only way I think Devon wins this game is by, maybe boosting the team with the flyers, clearing out the flying blockers. It still looks totally fine, but I think that's the only consideration is maybe leave one of the flyers back, but otherwise I like this getting super aggressive.
Yeah.
And she's just ready to close this out next turn with putting 15
That
power
is
in.
it. Devon O'Donnell extends the hand. Gray Payne improves her record to 11 wins.